Okay. Today we're going to discuss Virgo. Virgo is crazy. Virgo is something else. Okay? No. He's the magician, the trickster, the voodoo master, Kokokasa. Virgo is the shaman, the witch, the sorcerer, the high priest, the magus. He represents the magician in the tarot card. He's the court jester. He's the one that laughs at everything and at everyone. He laughs at himself. He laughs at life. Virgo represents mutable earth. So the earth itself, the deeper you go, it's black. That's cardinal earth. That's Capricorn. Good stuff only grows from nitrogen or the nitrate in the soil, and it's black, like phosphorus, deep in the earth. But as you go further and further up the surface, the color of the earth turns brown or mocha, or light or dark chocolate. Not as dark like coffee of the black earth. This kind of earth is a little bit more sweeter, more palatable, not as intense and raw as the black earth. So mutable earth represents the molting, changing morphology of the earth. The earth looks different in the winter than it does in the summer, than it does in the spring, than it does in the fall and winter, right? The topography changes. The trees are no longer green. Now there are no leaves. The grass is no longer green. It's brown or just dead. Until the next cycle of spring, where everything begins to grow new again. Earth vibrates at its lowest vibration of life. The life wave, which defines our Earth, our solar system, the stars, is at its lowest vibration on the Earth. But it's necessary because we have this very low vibration. Is why you can have insects and creepy crawlers of the earth able to live inside the earth, like worms and roaches and rats. They can live inside the earth if the vibration is too high. Like when there's an earthquake, animals can sense when there's an earthquake. Right? That's mutable earth. The animals come out. You see more insects out into the yard or rats coming out suddenly. When you see that, or ants, that means that the earth is shaking. The ants, the insects, they feel it first before we do. Then there's an earthquake. But if you were observant of nature, because the devil is always in the details, and that also falls under Virgo, then you will be able to have taken notice that something was about to jump, something was about to happen. Virgo can sense these things around him. He's pulling that psychic intuition, because a lot of Virgos don't like to talk about it. But many Virgos have a psychic intuition. Like they know things. They don't know why they know, and they choose really not to discuss it because they are afraid that it might embarrass them if they talk about it. So they choose to dismiss it. But Virgo can be intensely perceptive, intensely intuitive. He is like a computer. They'll look right into you and know exactly what's going on. Just by pure observation. Virgo doesn't like to rely on emotion. He feels that emotions can cloud his judgment. Maybe so. Possibly so. I think a better explanation would be that he's terrified of what he will find if he allow himself to really be open to these forces. You see, Virgo is drawing from its opposite side, which is Pisces, which is the sign of the seer. So every single Virgo has in his psyche a certain level of psychic perception and intuition and capability. So too does the earth have this same mechanism. Okay? You don't tell me that when you step outside on a cloudy day, in fact, you don't even have to know that it's cloudy. You kind of sense it. Your body tells you. How many people claim of having back pains the minute that it gets cloudy, right? The minute that you hear a thunderstorm, all of a sudden you're getting aches and pains because your bones feel it because of the barometric pressure, the barometer. This stuff is real. Oh, God, this is a little bit too tight. You know what I'm saying? You know, the earth and her nature, her temperament, her climate lets us know through our bodies. It's a beautiful and an intimate connection our bodies, our spirit has with nature. I tell you that when it's about to rain, I start getting back pains. I've always been like that, even when I was younger. It could be coming to it. Sometimes I could be walking down the street and I can smell like a certain salt. Don't you feel like a salt in the air? Like a salt. And then all of a sudden, an hour or so, it begins to rain. You know, Virgos can be very perceptive and very in tune with nature's vibrations. So too does the Virgo man vibrate in that same kind of energy dynamic. Virgo men come in 4 types. You have the shy guy. You got the gigolo. You got the con artist. And you got the thug. The shy one, the gigolo, the con artist, and the thug. And they're all the same. You would think that only one of the 4 is bad and the other ones are more or less okay. Because at the end of the day, most people like Virgos. But the thing is that you have to understand that Virgo represents mutable earth. Now, what does that mean in reference to the personality and the ego of a Virgo man? Well, very simple. I myself am a Virgo, Fernando. And you see me with different guises on YouTube. I fit any role I choose. Virgo is the natural chameleon. We fit many roles, as you can see, and I'm not afraid if I appear too fat, too skinny, too old, too young, too high, too fucked up, whatever. Virgo doesn't care. This is mutable earth. This is the power behind Virgo. As an earth sign, it can shape shift. Oh, you don't like me as solid rock? Then I'm going to change into sand, into silicone. Oh, you don't like me that way? Well, then I'll turn into grass. Oh, you don't like me that way? Well, then let me go into the shores of the ocean and define the coral reefs. Okay, Virgo is the aspect of earth which represents beauty, variety, versatility. Do you know how many species of weeping willows there are on the planet? How many birch trees there are on the planet? Do you know how long the trees have been on this planet? Can you name it in millions of years or in billions? Did other civilizations exist on the earth that we can claim proof by finding the fossils on the earth embedded right in the earth? The earth is a living, breathing entity. It has a vibration of its own. It has a life pulse, no different than our own pulse as humans and as every other plant, animal, mineral species on this planet. The earth undergoes and has undergone many rebirths from the Polarian epoch to the Hyperborean epoch to the Lemurian epoch to the Mesozoic epoch. You see, the earth has moved throughout millennia, shaping itself. There was once, well, it was only one continent on the planet, Pangea. Now we got 7 continents. It wasn't like that always. Sometimes there was 2 continents. Sometimes there was no continents. It was just molten lava, like in the Polarian epoch. The earth is old. And it has gone through many transformations in its history. In its 4.5 billion year history. And if we have been here that long, and we have evolved as a human species 4.5 billion years, if we go with Darwinism and evolution, and we have gotten to this point, can you imagine the versatility, the variety inherent on the planet and in every single one of us? That means that there is no end to our expression, to our versatility, because we have 4.5 billion years of experience on this planet. Virgo represents that timeline of experience. So when you're dealing with a Virgo man, understand that he has already lived many lifetimes. And that he's not new at this game. And of the 4 types, all of them are here to have a good time. But in different ways. In totally different ways. Now, the shy Virgo is the Virgo that is completely methodical. He follows his life on a book, by a book, a schedule. Now we got cell phones and, Androids and iPhones. So now Mr. Shy Virgo, which we also have a nickname for him for those of us who are 50 and up, Bob Newhart. Remember Bob Newhart? For those of you that are my age, the millennials ain't gonna know. But Google Bob Newhart. It was a comedy show in the 70s. Very funny. Very funny. And Bob Newhart was the typical Virgo. He went to work. He got up, brushed his teeth, had his breakfast and toast, got his briefcase, walked out the door, walked diligently, almost like a robot, to work. Sat down, said hello to the secretary. She went out, got him some coffee, and that's how his day went. Day in, day out. Kind of meat and potatoes, kind of dry, kind of bland, predictable, not exciting, kind of uneventful. But that kind of silent Virgo, the quiet type, the shy type, has a dark side. He has a dark side. And that dark side is that this is the type of Virgo that will step out in the middle of the night. Or will say that he's in a conference, but he's in a hotel room with some woman. Or maybe even some man. Because there's a lot of bisexual tendencies in Virgo. Pulling from Pisces, the opposite polarity of the sign of the bisexual. So Virgos can be the type of man that can be making six figures. And he goes in with a suit to work, let's say Wall Street. And then after he gets off of work, he goes into this special club where you will have to pay $1,000 to go in. And you pay $10,000 a year membership. Remember, Virgo represents Earth, and Earth is the element of money. All the Earth signs have money, or have the capability of making money, attracting money to them. So Virgo is another sign that's very easy in being responsible with money and obtaining money. And this man can go into this club and experience a golden shower or brown shower, get involved in very, 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 very kinky sex, even almost sadistic, at a hefty price. And then when it's all over and done, they walk out with their suits and go to their homes, to their wives, to their seemingly very ordinary, sedentary life. This is the shy one, the quiet one. Then you have the gigolo. I'm just a gigolo. This gigolo looks like something like how I'm dressed, where he uses his body and his sensuality to get what he wants. He's a hustler. He hustles his way through life. He hustles his way through women's hearts and in their panties. And then can leave a trail of devastation. This is the type of man that's a good lay and a lot of fun. And that this is a Taurus decan of Virgo. And he can be extremely selfish, inconsiderate, thoughtless, and non-caring. He'll be very materialistic. He'll be about getting paid. You gotta get paid. You want this chocolate? You gotta pay. Oh, there's some guys like that. And Virgo is like that. Oh yeah, because he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. So if you want all of this, you better take care of me, right? Yeah. You know, he could be like a little woman in him. And be just as entitled and demanding as a woman could be. He has a silver tongue. He knows how to hit that spot. And in more ways than what I'm saying. Because he knows how to say what he needs to say with those sweet nothings. And then in the bedroom, well, you know the rest. So this man makes it his business to be completely a Casanova. Like Mr. Sagittarius. Virgo is also the Casanova, the American gigolo, the hustler, and the go-go dancer. And even if he doesn't do these activities, you will swear that he is, or that he has had some experience with that. Because the way he plays his cards, the way he play out his game, you gotta admire it. And some women know his game, but they just fall in love with his style and his delivery of his game because it's so fucking cute or hot that they let him get away with it. See, that's that trickster energy of Virgo. This type of Virgo will probably have a lot of kids out in the street, a lot of baby mamas. He's a player. He's a player. And he plays long and hard and party hard and rough. And he almost finds it impossible to be loyal, to be committed. He has too much fun. He has too much fun. There's usually one girl, though, that usually wins this guy's heart. One girl. And that girl has to be able to tolerate a lot from this man. Then you got number three. Number three, another name we can call him is the trickster, the smooth operator. This one is a true con artist because that's number three is con artist. This Virgo is probably the darkest, the third decan of Capricorn, the devil. So this type of Virgo is devilish, and he can be devilish either very outlandishly open, or he can be quite insidious. Quite insidious. This type of man he will eat you out of house and home. That's how you can identify him. Extremely selfish. Just a selfish nature. A selfish nature. He's the type of guy that will make up a story and he'll be so fucking good at it, so fucking convincing that he will begin to believe his own lies himself. And this kind of guy can con and take anything from you. Because this type of guy is also very charming. He's very charming. Something very charming about this guy. Now, the shy guy is also charming. But you can tell that this shy guy is kind of limited. And because he's kind of limited and like, socially inept, where like he doesn't fit in and he doesn't feel like he fits in. He feels more alone in company than when he is by himself. That type of shy guy. And there's some people that can see that and detect that. And there's going to be a certain vibration of charm in a quiet type like that. Innocence. It's not that same kind of vibration from the con artist. The con artist and the shy guy can vibrate in the same premise, but the shy guy has no intention or deliberation in trying to fool you or hurt you, whereas the con man is. So his charmingness will bright a little bit more diabolically magnetic, pretty, beautiful. Where it's the type of guy where you just don't want to say no to. You just want him to continue talking to you because you are just enraptured. Enraptured. This is the type of guy that can prey on women. Can prey on women and get from them everything that he can to move forward. But understand that with these three, before I go with the fourth one, it's all game. You have many Virgos that are sincere, and they're the quiet types. You have some that are gigolos, that are actually really gigolos in their minds, even though they got the body, but they will never venture out and do it. And then you have the con man that's like the petty thief. This one lies and steals. And it depends. It can be minuscule, but it can be very consistent. And this is the type of Virgo that would not want to do it because he knows deep down that it's not the right thing to do, but he will do it anyway because he will be doing it from a need of necessity, a need of survival. You see, and the fourth one is another name for him is the survivalist. And the survivalist can encompass all other three Virgos that I mentioned. Or he can totally function on his own in a very brute and cruel way. Remember, the third decan is Capricorn. So either he can be very evil about it, or he can be very frugal about it. This type of guy is extremely stingy, extremely frugal. We're going to talk about the positive aspect of Virgo in part 2. Thanks.